There are many companions to choose from in Warframe, and most of them do something wholly unique, so you'd think that they wouldn't be competing with each other. You'd just pick the one that does what needs doing, and that would be that, meaning that you'd find a variety useful in various different situations. But some companions do a unique thing that is very broadly useful, which increases the opportunity cost of using a more specific companion if they aren't more powerful in their smaller niche. Now, you can use whatever you want, and I hope that this little series will get people more interested in experimenting with companions, but to help establish a baseline, I think it'll be useful to talk about some of the more generally useful companions. So with that said, behold! One of the 4 famed companions, Dethcube. Dethcube generates energy with Energy Generator. This mod gives your Dethcube the ability to generate an energy orb for you after, it says, assisting in 10 kills. That just means the Dethcube has to affect 10 enemies in any way, and then those enemies have to die. So if it touches them with a weapon or an ability in any way for any amount of damage, then that counts as an assist. It just has to get 10 of those, then it gives you an energy orb. Of course, this will turn on all the things that getting an energy orb does, like energy conversion, arcane energize, etc. And when you use Dethcube this way, I think you stand to gain by picking a Sentinel weapon, a robotics weapon, that is really good at hitting many enemies at once, and quite a few of them can be in various ways. Death Machine Rifle is a little inaccurate, and it's got a pretty high fire rate that can hit enemies beyond the one that the Dethcube aims at innately. Hellstrom has explosive missiles, so that can hit enemies in an area. Lots of the beam weapons you can run punch through, but Sweeper and Sweeper Prime are uniquely good at this, being shotguns. They have a really nice spread cone, very evenly spread set of pellets, and a lot of pellets. So you can put a lot of punch through on this weapon, and your Dethcube will fire, maybe once at a group of enemies, and then they'll probably pretty quickly die. You're not going to wait around for your Sentinel to hit them. And even in that one moment, your Sentinel should easily be able to tag 5 or 6 of them for assists. And then after you kill like a few groups of enemies, you'll get an energy orb, which is pretty nice. Additionally, you can easily fit most of the Vigilante set mods, all the ones that will fit on your Dethcube, and a lot of them actually help this. You would want a little more fire rate, you want the multi-shot, you want punch through, so they don't even really make the weapon less effective for this use case. Now, it doesn't do very much damage. Not a lot of Sentinel weapons do, although some of them can, but this I don't feel is really one of them. I'm building this only to be good at tagging enemies for assists. A little bit of reload speed, a little bit of increased spread on your projectiles. Vigilante Supplies does absolutely nothing for the weapon, except to give you critical hit chance on your primary weapons, but go figure, it's your Sentinel's weapon, doesn't need to be all about them. Although if you want that, Dethcube is actually a pretty good Sentinel for that as well. Vaporize is a precept that scales with some of the mods on your Sentinel's robotics weapon as well. So you could run a pistol, a robotics weapon that counts as a secondary or a pistol, because it has a better base damage mod, Hornet Strike. But personally, I think you could kind of have it both ways. This will not be absolutely terrible if you run some basic base damage stuff, although it isn't, as far as we can tell, affected by multi-shot and other things like fire rate, for example. It's just got a cooldown, it's 10 seconds. Nevertheless, it's a pretty good damage precept if you want that out of your Sentinel. I would recommend putting it ahead of the other attack precepts so that your Sentinel prioritizes it. Actually, speaking of which, you'll find a lot of my companion builds are going to be relatively similar, but we got the basics. We got your vacuum or fetch, as the case may be. In this case, it's vacuum, your animal instinct, regen if it's a Sentinel, and then an attack precept and the precepts that I want. I don't really like vaporize that much. Usually I would rather my Sentinel keep tagging enemies than stop and try to vaporize just one. This does actually have punch through, but only if the enemies are in a line. I really only choose Dethcube for energy generator personally, but it's not a bad choice to try to compromise. To keep it alive, I just use vitality and repair kit. Synth fiber does help a little bit as well, and then synth deconstruct pairs really nicely with the sweeper because it generates more health orbs when you get assists. It's on a chance, but if we average out the percentage, this means that you'll get about 2.5 health orbs for every energy orb that you get, which is nice. This is not amazing or anything. Health orbs are not always so great, but they do activate things that trigger when you get a health orb, like Arcane Pulse and health conversion. I kind of just like sacrifice. You'll see this on a lot of my Sentinels. I like the option to be able to revive myself. Most of the time I think you'd rather die to revive your Sentinel rather than your Sentinel dying to revive you, but personally I've grown rather attached to this, and I think it's fun when your Sentinel revives you. It's fun not to have to explode yourself and then come back to life. I don't know. Get rid of this and use something else. It's not that good. But yeah, that's Dethcube. Also, what a cutie. Look at this little, ooh, it's a little cube. What a cute little cube. I gotta say, out of the 4 famed companions in this little series, Dethcube has got to be the cutest little patootie of them all. Yes, you